to Leaders of Tomorrow, the only show on Indian television right now where you, the MSME, get center stage. This is ET Now, special daily initiative to give entrepreneurs and MSMEs the opportunity to be front and center in every industry and area that matters to you. Tonight, we are bringing you Direct Connect, where a panel of experts will answer your queries. And later on the show on Small Giants, we're featuring Vacation Labs and CyclingZens. Thank you both very much for being with us here tonight to answer in all of the questions, queries that have come in from our entrepreneurs. We've had you previously and it's so good to have you here with us for the first time. Let's kick the show off with a call that's coming to us from the line of Mukund Gupta. Go ahead, Mukund.
We are India's largest manufacturer of scrap processing equipment since 1979. My question for the panel is, for a young entrepreneur who has just joined his family business, it is difficult to build a young team for the organization to whom he can rely, trust, and the most difficult thing is to then retain them. So my question is, what are the basic points to remember while building a strong team?
All right, so Mukund says that he's an exporter and wants to know how he can both maintain the trust factor as well as ensure that he is hiring, when he's hiring a young team, he ensures that the workflow happens, trust issues he's talking about, etc. So essentially about managing the workforce is his question. Maybe we can start with you, Anita.
Sure. This question is very relevant for, if you really look at it, for all MSMEs and small companies. And they all have this issue of really building a workforce that they can trust and that is performing well and there's productivity. And I think for whether you look at it a large company perspective or a small company perspective, the same principles apply, in the sense that if you build a workforce, a team that you are empowering, that you are actually helping them skill some more. It's also in something like a design of your office. How often are you engaging with your team? It's about really building those little systems and processes in place where you are engaging with your people at a level that you trust them, and then they will trust you back. So it's about really looking at your workforce as an extension of yourself and empowering them. So it's very important for any entrepreneur to do that, to build a team that doesn't leave them, and then they have a problem in re-recruiting good people back.
Okay, just before I come to you on that, one word that I'm picking up from what he has said is young team.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Are the challenges and therefore the way you work with a younger team very different from what you should be doing if it's an older team?
Absolutely, and that's bang on, because if you look at large companies as well, they apply a one-size-fits-all approach to all the workforce, which doesn't really work. Because if you look at somebody in their 50s versus somebody in their 20s, they behave very differently, and their value systems are very different. In fact, the younger the people, it's more important to think of it as one size fits one. So how you engage with them becomes very different. So it is about really looking at what works for this target group.
Sure.
And coming up with that kind of a work environment, that those kinds of policies, those kinds of benefits, those kind of reward systems that really work for them.
Okay.
So it's important for a smaller organization to do it as much as a larger organization.
All right.
I would agree, and I would just like to add that this particular process, what we talked about, is known as an HR handbook. Now, large organizations, come with a concept of HR handbook. Even MSME should follow that process where you lay down all the organizational policies and procedures in a particular book, and that whenever as far as young population are concerned, their mind is very staggered, right? So what is required is lay down all your procedures, policies in place, and do a lot of team building activities in the organization, and try to bring in innovation right in the organization and give the job to the respective employees what they like to do, so that they are motivated. Because today what happens is what is committed and what is happening on the ground, a mismatch between that. That is what is causing a lot of attrition in the young population.
Sure.
So HR handbook and certain attrition related policies and certain team building activities will really help companies to avoid this particular problem.
Okay, Mukund, that's in response to your question. One size fits one, highly personalized, individualized kind of solutions and policies is what our experts are recommending for you. Thanks for calling in with that. All right, our next query is also a call, and this is coming to us from the line of SP Monokaran. Go ahead.
We provide a filtration machine to the oil and gas sector. The major challenges we face in the payment cycle on our clients. So we face in a payment cycle, our clients tend to delay the payment for more than 6 months. So there are anything we can do to reduce the payment cycle?
All right, that's an unfortunate situation, and unfortunately, and I want to come to you on this, Ramanujam first, is that we hear about this particular issue a lot from our viewers who say that because they're small, the customers expect that you give us and their vendors expect that you give us the product right now, but we're not necessarily going to pay you right now, and the payment cycle takes very long, 3 months, 4 months sometimes, and trying to enforce that and ensure that becomes very difficult for small companies because you don't want to antagonize your bigger vendors and your bigger partners. What is the solution you have?
So this problem is common across all MSMEs. So I would say that you need to have very strong credit control mechanism through which you have a strict policy that when your debtors are aging beyond 60 days or 90 days, you have one particular set of action what you take, and after that there is a process called dunning, where you issue letters at at a CFO level, or you issue reminders. Now all these are actions on the policy front, but to encourage the customers, what we can really do is basically give prompt payment discount. Right now, this is being practiced by many companies, where you say that you pay within 30 days or 60 days and you get a discount of 2% or 3%. Through this, you can encourage a lot of customers to pay you on time.
Okay, but discounts is something you think will be viable financially for a small business?
So it is cost versus benefit analysis. So over a 6-month period, if I don't get money, if I invest the same money in some in a investment or stock market or wherever, I mean I get far more money as compared to this what I'm going to lose. That is the way I would measure it.
That's a very valid point, but to add to that, a lot of times what happens is that we do not have the proper systems and processes in place, because what really happens is you set up an organization, you're so busy going out there and getting the business that the internal pieces sort of suffer. So how do you really put the right kind of systems and processes in place upfront? Because this is a very key process.
Monokaran, one of the suggestions, of course, is an early payment discount that Ramanujam is suggesting that you possibly look at, and all the very best then in trying to ensure you get your timely payments. Our next query is coming to us from Durgesh Dubey, who sent us an email to say he is in the information system space with a focus on the logistics sector. He says he's a startup, so marketing is a major challenge. He wants to know how he can undertake marketing or convince his customers and his clients, rather his customers, about his products, especially large MNC companies. What would you both recommend?
So one way of marketing his product is transition from offline to online. So digital marketing is the next big thing what is happening in India, which all of us know. And from an optimization perspective, he's probably a small entrepreneur, so he don't have to spend much. Recruiting a complete marketing team, sales team, going to the market, doing physical study, field study, and all will take a lot of time, energy, and effort, and a lot of money. So rather, he can build some pages, he can move online and do digital marketing activities through which he can proliferate his products, on e-commerce.
The other thing that, and I agree with Ramanujam, the other thing that he can do is he can really look at partnering with the Big Four, as an example, or IBM. These large companies, large MNC companies, they have clients and they outsource a lot of this work. So what really happens is that you don't have to go market yourself, somebody else is marketing and you're getting to do that as a subcontractor. So that's another way of really building up your revenue base. And looking at going into industry events, those are other captive sort of events where you have audience that you can go and talk to directly, because that's like, you get maybe 100 people together that you can talk to rather than doing one-off marketing. So those are some of the areas that I would say that they can look at.
Okay, that's in response to your question, Durgesh. Trust that answers your query. Thanks for emailing us. And at the end of this episode, if you have a query, we'll tell you what the email ID is for you to be able to email us. All right, Anita, Ramanujam, thank you very much for being with her tonight and answering all the questions that have come into us. Time for a break. When we come back on Small Giants tonight, 2 special stories, CyclingZens and Vacation Labs. Just stay tuned. with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight we're bringing you two stories on our Small Giants segment, CyclingZens and Vacation Labs. Now, on one thing of Goa, apart from the beaches, the winding roads of the state have often attracted enthusiastic riders, and taking a cue from the number of tourists looking to rent affordable bicycles is Goa-based company CyclingZens. Shivangi Sinha caught up with the co-founder to bring you tips on introducing new trends in a crowded tourism industry. Take a look.
Fast cars and mean bikes might be alluring, but according to some cycling enthusiasts in Goa, they can hardly hold a candle to the experience of riding a bicycle through roads less travelled. Strong believers in the environmental and health benefits of cycling are Rohan Nagarkar and Peter Rodrigues, who founded CyclingZens in 2015 to promote cycling as a mode of transportation for tourists and residents alike.
Rohan, let us kickstart this conversation by talking to you about how Goa has always been a tourist destination where people want to ride powerful bullets or perhaps convertible cars. So how do you think cycles fit in this space at this point in time, and what is the change you're trying to bring with CyclingZens?
I personally loved cycling since I was a kid. When I was working here, I always felt that I needed a cycle, and nowadays, like, getting a decent cycle is a 20,000 rupee affair, and then you think, like, why, before buying one, why don't I rent one? And then I realized there was a gap, that renting a cycle was not an option in Goa. And after doing a bit of market research, I realized that a lot of people wanted a cycle and there was no avenue for them to get one. There are cycling groups all over the country, and those who cycle in all other cities, Goa is the perfect destination to cycle.
Right, so talk to us about the offerings at CyclingZens. What are the few things that consumers can look forward to?
Our core offering is giving a cycle on rent. So we give daily cycles on a daily basis, and we give a daily, weekly, monthly rate, so people have good options with those. And we give premium quality cycles which are very well maintained. So we are giving a good value for money service in that sense. We are also doing regular cycling tours for those who have a very short duration, who want to have a guide who's getting them across places. And our latest offering has been tours with the electric bicycles.
So taking your point forward about electrical cycles then, I understand that you assemble them differently for various markets or users. So what do you really think is the demand like for electrical bicycles, and what perhaps is the future of electrical bicycles in the country?
We assemble the kits to our own specifications. So what we are doing specifically with the assembly is we are keeping all the gears intact, as well as having a electric kit fitted to a good MTB. So what happens is someone can get a feel of a normal cycle as well, and use it as a normal cycle till a point that they really don't feel tired, and instead of at that point trying to give up on the tour, they can just move to the electric and finish the tour, and that gives us a good flexibility in our operations with the tours.
Now I understand that you're looking to automate the process of renting cycles completely. What has the progress really been on that end, and what are the challenges perhaps that you had to face?
We get a lot of inquiries from locations where the price is a big constraint. Like if you look at the hostels is a very booming new age industry that is happening in tourism right now. So someone who is paying 350 rupees or 300 rupees for a shared bunk bed, he wants a cheap transportation solution. And there are some other similar use cases as well, but there is a very good demand for cycles if we can meet them at that particular price point. But to do that, we have very heavy costs of logistics right now. So to bring down the cost of logistics, we need to get into an automation process. Now there are many automation solutions available in the market. We have studied all the automation solutions. We already have a blueprint in place on what we want to do with the automation. But with our present level of funding, we are not completely venturing into it, but it is soon going to happen, where we have an automated app, mostly go via a Bluetooth unlocking system, and people can unlock the cycles through an app. So the human interaction in the check-in checkout process is reduced, and then we will hopefully reduce our pricing by about 60%.
Now, Rohan, this is definitely a business which is reliant heavily on customer choice and is also vulnerable to market demand. How in that case are you able to sustain the business?
Unlike the Goa seasonal demand, our demand really falls when the summer is at its peak. Like even in the rains, except like the first few peak days of rains, we still have good demand going on in terms of cycles. Like the Goa market has taken such a stage now that when we have enough long weekends or on these days, there is good demand. And in these times, there are bigger groups which regularly come in. So we try to get into events where there are like 40-50 people groups, or we also look at like outstation tours where we can manage 5 to 6 days of long tours. So we have found alternate options which keep us busy through the season.
Taking a leaf out of the books of our global peers in promoting cycling as a lifestyle, CyclingZens hopes to make renting bicycles as breezy as the cycle rides promise to be.
Technology is changing the future of travel, and the industry is evolving to adapt. Founded in the winter of 2012 and based in a beautiful villa in Goa, Vacation Labs is a technology startup on a quest to revolutionize the tourism industry by redefining travel content and creating handcrafted templates optimized for travel. We're bringing you this two-part special from the city of Goa. Anshua Banerjee has more. Take a look.
Goa, the name that conjures up a fun vacation destination. Wanderlust can drive one to go to places, but when technology goes hand in hand with globe-trotting, what can we get? Founded in the winter of 2012 and based in a beautiful villa in Goa, Vacation Labs is a technology startup on a quest to revolutionize the tourism industry by getting any offline travel business online, leveraging all channels to create a superior customer experience. Taking any offline travel business completely online within a week, what made you realize the need of such a product in the B2B space, and what was your initial inspiration behind Vacation Labs?
Today, everyone needs a very professional online presence with their products featured up front and center, with transactional capabilities, right? And a system in the back office to manage the entire show, right? So I had interacted with a number of entrepreneurs and small business owners in the travel world who were struggling to put all of this together, right? They were chasing after developers, they were chasing after SEO specialists, they were running after content writers, mobile app developers, just to get something up and running, which today has become a hygiene factor.
Technology is transforming the travel industry, and so many startups are leveraging this tool to expand and grow their business. Talk to us about your USP and how do you go about delivering your end product?
We've got a solid product platform. It's one of the best products in the market, which delivers all of these things within a week. From start till finish, we can get your web presence up and running within a week with professionally written content, with e-commerce capabilities, with a back office system to manage your rates, your content, your inventory, your agents, with a mobile app to give to your staff to be connected to this entire system, with distribution capabilities allowing you to connect to and distribute your inventory to other larger online marketplaces. So we've got the entire product offering covered, right? And you just have to give us your products. That is all you need to do, as opposed to other people, other players in the market, where you have to almost wear an IT project management hat, which is not why you started your travel business. You started your travel business to you had a passion for rafting, you had a passion for trekking, you had a passion for adventure sports, you had a passion for showing your city, showcasing your city and its culture to other travelers, right? That's why most of the people get into travel businesses, but instead they get stuck wearing an IT project management hat.
Vacation Labs is a 5-year-old company. As you mentioned, it started bootstrapped, having a lot of challenges pertaining to funding. However, you have had your share of angel investors through the years, and do you think it's difficult to convince investors to invest in a business and an idea as unique as yours?
The first 2 years, we were just trying to make sure we got the product right? Towards the end of the second year, we had a handful of anchor customers who had been using our product, right, and were in fact renewing their licenses, right. So that's when we knew that we were onto something big, right. Just the fact that someone pays you and then next year writes you another check, right, that just sort of confirms that you're actually delivering value, right. So that's when we went out to the market, and we started looking for a small angel round, what is called an angel round, right. That's when people like Abhishek Goyal from Traction and Zishan Hayat from Topper and Powai Lake Ventures, those backed us, right. That gave us a runway to invest more in the product for another year and a half. In the next year and a half, we built out our product even more. We acquired a lot more customers, and we were at a point where in the trailing 12 to 15 months, we had shown a growth of 12 to 15x.
Your startup runs out of a bungalow driven by a 12-member team powering a business worth 80 crores now. So how do you seek your staff and put them on the path of tech empowerment?
I did not want to recreate another replica of a Mumbai working space in Goa, right? We are in Goa, we are surrounded by greenery. We are not surrounded by traffic. We are not surrounded by pollution. Why can't we have such an awesome working space to work out of, right? So that is, in fact, that is one of the reasons for our, one of the pillars of our employee retention and attracting new talent as well.
As we put an end to this conversation, how do you visualize growth and expansion in the upcoming years for Vacation Labs?
So in the next 5 to 10 years, our vision is that we want to become synonymous with travel technology. Any travel company who thinks of going online or deploying technology in their business, Vacation Labs should be the first name which comes to their mind. How are we going to achieve that? So travel is a very segmented market. There are lots of subsegments of travel. We need to expand our product to cover every such subsegment. So in the next 5 years, we want to have a significant customer base in every country across the globe.
Vacation Labs aim to digitize the unorganized tourism market by redefining travel content and creating handcrafted templates optimized for travel. Helping a number of travel companies come online, Vacation Labs is slowly turning the world a smaller place to travel around.
That's our show tonight. If you have anything that you want to say to us, you can always write in at leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com, tweet at me at Sunanda_J or LOT_ET Now on Twitter, or our Facebook page, Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now, is where you can leave your comments. You can also call us on that number you see on your screen. We love hearing from you. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.